Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back with our Star Wars action figure review. Today taking a look at another comic pack from the past. This is the Legacy comic pack with the Imperial Knights, Antares Draco and Ganner Krieg. I actually got these guys a while back now on eBay. I got them for a pretty good price. I even recorded a review of that. Back then, and for whatever reason I never posted it and I ended up deleting the video, so I'm reshooting it because I did want to release a review of these guys. They're pretty cool. A couple of figures that I've been trying to track down for a little while, not too vigorously I guess, but I am happy to have them. Star Wars Legacy, probably my favorite Star Wars comic series that they've put out so far. It's part of the old Legends continuity. It takes place about like 137 years after Return of the Jedi or something like that. So it deals with Luke's ancestors and whatnot. Very cool story. Lots of very cool characters. I have a few other figures of characters from that series back in the Legacy line. They did release a handful of the characters. Most of them were in compacts, and there was like one multi-pack, and I think that's it. I don't think there's any single releases or anything like that. Yeah, these are the Imperial Knights. If you have not read the series, basically the Imperial Knights, there's a new empire that's run by the Fel dynasty, Roan Fel, and they have their kind of a nicer empire, I guess. They have their own order of Force users that follow the light side, but they are not Jedi, and they don't follow the Jedi code. So instead of following the Jedi code, they serve the light side as embodied by the Emperor, and that's their belief system anyways. Very cool. Obviously you kind of get a bit of Royal Guard vibes with their armor color, and just kind of cool to see get figures and get characters that are light side but not Jedi. I think is cool. I just like the concept of the Imperial Knights. Pretty cool organization characters. The compact itself, very nice. Both the figures are actually exactly the same from the neck down. The only thing that's actually different is their head sculpts. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Talk about Antares first. He is the leader of the Imperial Knights, and he is pretty nice. Get the light in here. Focus up. I think the head sculpt looks pretty good. Obviously, this is long before a face print, so I think paint-wise, I think it looks pretty good. The hair sculpt's good. I like that he has these scars on it around his eye, and they even did some red paint there to kind of bring out the scars a bit, which look really nice. Both figures come with the exact same lightsaber. You have the lightsaber hilt, silver with a bit of black around the grip, and then all Imperial Knights, or most Imperial Knights, have this silver or white blade, kind of like the Ahsoka and the new canon, which I think is pretty cool. They kind of have uniformal lightsabers have choosing their color. They just have these white color. I think that's really nice. Both figures, the lightsaber blades are removable, which is a nice feature. Definitely want to be careful of that though. The pegs are very small. You don't want to snap and break them. But that works out really nicely, and I really like that. The armor itself, I think, is sculpted and painted pretty nicely. It's mainly red, and you got black for the bodysuit. Got the Imperial logo on the shoulder pad as well as on the forearm right here. Pretty interesting details sculpted on the forearm armor. The belt is sculpted and painted pretty nicely with a couple different browns as well as some silver for different details. You can see they also use some soft goods. They have soft good cape. They do have a soft goods hood, however the soft good hood does in fact look pretty terrible, so I never display them with that. I just have it down. I appreciate the thought, but yeah, it doesn't work out. Unfortunately, it looks pretty bad. They also have soft goods lower robe, which also look pretty good and aren't too oversized or anything, which is really nice. And they fall over the legs pretty well. And then on the legs itself, just got some black pants and then some black knee pads and some padding around the boots and whatnot, and some glossy black for the boots themselves. Not crazy intricately detailed or anything like that, but it gets the point across. It looks accurate, and it looks pretty cool. And then Ganner, I'm not going to go over the whole figure because it's literally the exact same, except for the head sculpt. I also think this head sculpt is pretty good. I think it looks pretty close to what Ganner looks like in the comics. He's got the red, orange hair, with the ponytail, which is cool. And they did actually put like a wash in it to bring out the sculpted details, which I think is pretty nice. And I think the eyes and the eyebrows are painted pretty well, again, for being long before face printing. So yeah, pretty nice. In terms of articulation, they're actually pretty well articulated. You have a ball joint at the neck, a ball hinge at the shoulder, which moves pretty good. You will be hindered a bit by the shoulder pad. It's only going to go up so far, but still pretty decent. Single hinges at the elbows, which move just slightly shy of 90. Swivels at the wrists, swivel waist, swivel hips, ball hinge knees, and ball hinge ankles. So you could definitely get a fair amount of articulation. At the time that these came out, definitely a really good articulation. And even still, to this day, holds up decently well. Obviously not as good as what we get these days, but not bad by any means. Definitely better than having like swivel elbows and some other weird stuff that they like doing back then. That's pretty much all I had to say about these for the most part. I guess comparison-wise, there's not a whole lot to compare them with, but there is one figure. They did release one other Imperial Knight, which I do actually have. So I have all the Imperial Knights they made. They did release Sigildare or Sigildare. I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to say her first name. I think it's Sigil, but it might be Sigil. I don't know. But she came in a comic pack with Darth Crate, which I actually also have. I reviewed this set a while back, probably like a year ago now, which was a grail set for me to get. And it's very nice to have all three of the knights. She's very cool. She does actually have some differences though. Well, aside from being a whole new sculpt because she's a female, so her build's a little smaller. They actually painted her armor in a much shinier, almost candy red, which I think looks actually nicer than the more dull red they used for the other two. So they don't actually match. Her armor looks like it's super clean, and theirs looks like a lot duller and a lot more worn, I guess. There's what they look like together. She's a bit shorter than them, but she fits in relatively well. Just other kind of interesting details, like she doesn't have the lower soft goods robe. She just doesn't wear that. The belt's a bit different. She has red knee guards instead of black, and she has brown boots instead of black boots. So kind of some interesting different details. She has the exact same articulation. At least I'm pretty sure she does. Yeah, I think she does. And then another weird feature is that she doesn't have a removable lightsaber blade, even though the hilt is pretty much the same design. They, for whatever reason, made a whole new sculpted lightsaber and gave her one that didn't have a removable blade, which is kind of weird. But yeah, and she has a different head sculpt. But yeah, pretty cool set of figures. Honestly, yeah, really cool. Not the most expensive. Well, Sigil's pretty expensive to get, but the other two, Antares and Ganner, I think are actually still not that bad in terms of price to get their hands on, because they're a bit more obscure, I guess. Maybe not as sought after characters, I suppose, even though I think they're really good. I think if you search around, shop around on eBay a bit or wherever, you can find these guys for a pretty good deal. I think I paid like 30, 35 Canadian each for them, which I think is pretty good. And I think that was including shipping as well, so I think that's a pretty good deal. If you've read Legacy and you collect these figures, I definitely recommend trying to track these guys down, especially if you're a fan of the Imperial Knights. Definitely recommend picking these guys up. If you're not a fan of Legacy, you don't really know anything about these guys, I guess it's kind of hard to recommend them. The only thing I'd say is they're just really cool, unique lightsaber force wielding guys that aren't Jedi or Sith, so it's kind of unique to have on the shelf, which is cool. But yeah, this is definitely some figures for the Legacy fans. So yeah, if you're a fan of Legacy, definitely recommend picking them up. They're really nice figures. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one. May the Force be with you.